Oh,
There
did
you
you
go.
just hear her talk?
Yep.
This meeting. And then I'll upload the link and I'll send it to you guys.
Perfect.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you so much,
I
guys.
don't
Yeah.
know how long that will take me to figure out how to do because I only record off the visualizer, but I'll try to figure it out.
Me, Jocelyn, and Lisa were trying forever to figure out how to even send a Zoom invite the other night because we were all trying to work on stuff together. I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah, anyone could do a 40-minute free Zoom. Like Zoom's free for like a 40-minute meeting.
Yeah. Okay, so
Okay.
So you got to pull something out and it's signed. It has
Next.
to be a plus or minus you're pulling out of the second one.
Only you by yourself.
Okay. Right.
Rich, stop!
Did you guys get it?
I think
All right, walk me through it. Tell me the first thing I'm gonna do.
so. Box off. Oh, you already have it boxed off.
Yes.
So pull out X,
X. You have A
What?
plus
A plus B.
X, A
Okay.
plus B.
Yes. It's so hard to write with this. I don't have a mouse. I'm just gonna do it with my hand.
You
And
are
what?
A plus B. The other side.
Yes. Look at you. Yes. Perfect. Okay.
And you have minus A Y.
Minus what?
Minus Y squared.
Y.
Yep. Y squared, right? Because you're looking at that and you're like, okay, I want this to be a positive A. So I'm going to pull out the minus Y squared.
Yes.
And then you're done, right? So what's my answer?
A plus B, and then parentheses X minus Y squared.
Yep.
A plus
X minus Y squared.
Oh my God. This is so much easier.
You did it.
Oh man. I feel foolish for not understanding this now. This is like so much easier.
So much easier, yeah.
Oh, here, this one, I'm looking at this one. No, let's do, there's one where we've done this one. Let's do two more. Because sometimes what's in the parentheses is what you have left. And then you're like, oh, I think it's this one. Let's try this one.
Okay.
You always have to pull something out. And if it's the exact same thing that's in the parentheses, then you just pull out a positive one. Do you see, like, you always have to fit. That's the only little trick thing that I can see.
Okay. So
The only weird thing, I think it might happen in this one. It does. And you're like, oh no, what am I gonna do? I'll show you. It's the only weird thing.
So you could pull.
Ooh, and I see another really tricky one. We'll do another one.
You can pull 2x squared out, right?
2x squared. No, 2x, I think.
Yeah, 2x squared.
Right, 2x squared. Okay.
No,
Yeah.
2x.
And then you'd be left
5x.
with 5x
Yeah.
minus
5x and the what?
Minus 2.
Okay, perfect. So what am I gonna do?
rewrite 5x.
5x the other side.
Oh, I see what you're saying because it's 5x minus 3 there.
Yeah, but I always tell my students, you have to factor something. So what's the, but I
Oh, we
only,
have it here.
so what's the only thing you can pull out and not change anything?
1.
A
One.
positive 1.
Yeah.
And then
okay.
you're done. If you see it twice, you write it once and then you write what you have left.
Wow.
Minus-
Yeah, that's the only like tricky thing because sometimes you're like, oh God, it's the same thing. But you just go, okay, well, factor out a positive 1. It's not going to change anything. And then there's your binomial.
Oh my gosh, Kathleen.
This,
You see it?
wow.
Yeah,
Yes.
sure. No problem.
Yeah, this
Now,
is
like here, I'll just tell you on a part 2, and when's your final?
It's on
Our final is
August 5? No?
August 5th. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, because if you want, like, we can do a practice final or something together. I
Yeah,
have-
that would be
It's gonna be
great.
perfect.
And I have an enormous, ridiculously enormous review that I've made my students. If you want that, it's like
Yeah.
really
Yes,
big. Look at
please.
Emily. Okay, it's enormous. I can actually email it to you and then email you my handwritten key to it so that you guys can start playing
Awesome.
with it.
Okay, great. Thank you so
So-
much, Catherine.
Oh my gosh, I don't mind. All right.
Telling
This is one, I think this is exactly word for word one I put on an old final, and it was a part 2. So my final is part 1, you do everything, and then part 2 are the really tricky hard problems. And I let them know it's hard. Like I call these onions because they stink because there's 2 levels of factoring to it. And so this is an example of a part 2 on my final, which they're like the hardy ones. I don't know if you want to save this one here. You know what? Let's do these 2, and then we'll
Okay.
do the really hard one at the end.
Okay.
You want to do that? We'll do
Yes.
these 2, and then the super hardy. This one's like the worst possible scenario that could happen. It can't get any harder than this one right here. That's
Okay.
as hard as they get because there's 2 layers to it. But you can do the layers because you knew how to do these. So we'll do these 2. You do them, I'll wait, and then we'll
Square.
yeah, and then we're done. That's the last
Minus.
of the 4 terms, like on the notes that I do in class. I'm just taking a peek what's left of these. Oh yeah, so we've done all of these types, but we can look at the rest.
So we would take out 2x.
So X.
So we'll do this one together, or you could do it. Why don't you try all 3 of these, and then we'll move on to the
Okay.
3 terms. Then we've done 2 terms, 3 terms, 4 terms, and the only things left is the 3 terms. That's it.
Okay.
X.
So then you write
Mm,
x minus 4. So you take out
X minus 4. X minus 4.
I'm gonna do these on a notebook paper. So it's so hard to write on the other ones.
you take out minus 3.
Minus 3. Having positive.
Squared minus 3. Okay. On 2a is 2
Minus 1.
x and 6b.
Mm,
So take 2. A minus b.
Yeah, different color pen.
So you would pick out awesome.
Are you guys taking? Oh, you're not taking 12, 15, right, Nate? You're doing. the top.
Yes, I am.
I'm teaching 12, 15 in the fall.
Yes, I
I'm
know.
taking 12:30.
Right. Yeah. The
Which
guy
I don't-
that owned that course just retired, so I don't know who's teaching it now.
I can't remember. I don't know who any of my teachers are, to be honest with you. I tried looking to see if I could get in any math classes with you, and I don't think there was
Yeah, I'm
any.
teaching 12, 15, but
Yeah.
if you need the tech math, then I hope those don't go online. I really like the person who used to teach them. But anyway,
Yeah,
I digress.
as of right now, everything I have is in person, so
Okay, good.
I hope it stays that way.
Me too.
2 plus x.
X squared.
Okay, I think I got both of those.
Try the
the,
last one.
the
May as
easy
well.
one or the
It's
last
hard.
one?
Yeah, try them all. Try all 3 and then we'll go over them.
Okay.
And then I'll just kind of do them really fast so you can watch.
Which one? Oh, the A.
The hard one. No, the 9.
9x cubed.
Sorry.
Okay. Let's see. So You could take.
Those are run, I think that's running, Lukey. Can you close that back up and start it? Luke. Lukey. Oh my gosh. Luke. I think that's running. Can you start it? I think that's running. I think it opens up.
5.
Plus 15.
I guess it's on. I just know that I turned it on.
Right. So. Okay, I think I got that one, but it seemed way too easy. so
Okay.
I
That's
probably.
good. It is easy, but you're probably missing one thing, and that's what makes it hard. Let's see. Did you write them all down, Jocelyn?
Yes,
Okay, I'm gonna just show you my
I
screen.
missed one here.
Okay.
I don't think I have it.
Did you do these These two?
Yes,
Okay, so what'd you factor out of the first one? The 2x squared,
Yep.
and then did you get x minus 4 left?
yes.
And then you wrote x minus 4
And
again.
minus, yes.
And you're like, ooh, I want
Minus.
that negative 3x to just be an x.
X
So I'm gonna pull out a
minus 3.
negative 3. Perfect.
Yep.
So it's x minus
X minus
4,
4.
and then 2x squared
X
minus 3.
squared minus 3. Yep.
Good?
Yes. Yes.
So this one looks weird.
Yeah.
So what'd you factor out of the first box?
2. I just take,
You get a minus b left.
yes.
So we'll write a minus b over here. So what'd you pull out over here?
X squared.
Positive x, right? You always have to have a
Yes.
sign with it. So then you'll see the binomial that's left.
And
Yep.
Yeah, does that make sense?
yes.
I found that when students didn't write the plus or minus, they just wrote 2x and they forgot to put the plus in the middle. Because it's
So
always going to be a binomial and a binomial. So I always make them write the sign in front of it,
The
whether it's
sign
plus
for
or
the,
minus.
okay.
So, and you're essentially just taking the sign. Will you always just take the sign from the first,
Yeah.
from the
Yes.
first one in the second box? Okay.
Mhm. Yep. And it should work if you're like, oh no, I've never give ones that are prime, but if you just can't rigor it, then it's probably something prime. But I would be
Prime.
shocked if she gave you a prime 4 term. That wouldn't make any sense to me why she would
Okay.
do that. And then this one, okay. This is like the stinky one. So did you guys see the 9 and
Yes.
the x squared?
Yep.
Yes.
And so then you have x plus 5 left,
Yep.
right?
Yes.
So we write x plus 5 over here. Okay, so what are you gonna write here?
Minus 4.
Minus 4.
Yeah, okay. So if you see it twice, you write it once, and then you write the binomial that's left. Now keep in mind, I put this on the part 2, so it's really, really hard. So this is right, but you gotta stare at that for a while. It's 2 terms, and there's a minus. And do you see these are all perfect squares?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So this one, I always warn my students though, I always say this one's an onion because there's going to be 2 layers and it stinks to have to do it. So if it's a difference of 2 perfect squares, one's going to be a plus and one's going to be a minus.
Yep.
And then what's going to sit in the first seat? What squared gives you 9?
So it'd be 3x.
Yep.
X. 3x.
And then what's going to sit in the second seat?
Plus or minus 2.
Minus 2.
Yep, because 2 times 2 is 4. So that's why that one was just an extra layer of stink to it, because it was just one more thing you had to do. Do you see? Like a lot of people don't see that. And again, I'm
Yeah.
taping this, Jocelyn. So if I can figure out how to upload it, I'll send you the link.
Thank you so much.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I
I
make
don't
no
know.
promises. I've never done a recording on Zoom. I always recorded it like when in class on my visualizer camera. So I don't know. I'm not sure. This will be something new for me. Yeah. Are we good with that?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
So
Thank
we
you so
followed
much.
with 4 term. Now you asked a question though, and I think I might have addressed it in one of these pages. Hold on, let's see. You asked a really good question, and I have it here.
with
We
the
already know how to do all these. Oh, well, let's do the 3 terms and then we'll come out like, these are like tricky ones. I said these are ones to like be careful of. Like if they're not written standard form, you've got to
Yeah.
rewrite it,
yeah.
right? Sometimes they're a little tricky. Like this is 2 terms with a minus, but you had to factor out the 2x first to see that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so I had some tricky ones down. I'm like, oh, be careful of some of these. Oh, my cat's coming. All right, so let's do the 3 terms. Does that sound good?
Yep.
Here come my kitty. Okay. The cat here, the dog's crying. All falling apart. Okay, here, let me find, I'll just find like my worksheet and we'll practice some of them that I give in class. Does that sound good?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, let's see. Let me find. So what is that? Section 708, factoring trinomials. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Let me share the screen. All right, we don't want this one yet. Hold on. Whoop. We want to get to that one in a second. Hold on, let me find one more. We want this one. And this will answer your question, Nate. So now we're going to factor polynomial. Where's this thing that has 3 terms in it? Like these guys.
3 times here.
Now, Yumiko does it differently than I teach it, and her way is lovely. It's just different strokes for different folks.
Mhm.
And then these are the things to watch out for, Nate. And then I bet you I have it on here. Yeah, like that one.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, here's another one.
Yep.
Remember I said things to watch out for. So those are like the little tricky tricks I always get worried about. So like those are the 4 kinds of tricky problems. So should we play with these ones?
Yeah. Just a couple at least.
Okay. So have you done trinomials where this wasn't one yet? Like these are where there's no number in front of the x squared term.
Yeah. Like if it's like a number in front of the x squared, you're saying?
Yeah. Have you done those yet?
Yeah, I think so. But what is you got to factor out something if it's like that, right?
All right, I just teach it differently. I'll show you the way I show my students.
Okay.
And then if you like the 4 term and you think the 4 term's easy, I turn every 3 term when this isn't 1 into a 4 term, and then it's just you box it off and you go from there. Like I teach it as if, because everyone finds the 4 terms pretty easy to remember what to do. So I turn every 3 term in 4 term, and then they don't have to learn anything new.
So how do you turn it into a 4 term?
So you can turn any trinomial into a 4 term problem. Okay. I hope that this doesn't confuse you because she showed you something different, but I'm going to show you what I did.
Listen,
I don't know.
what she showed us, I didn't really comprehend like half of it. So this is really good for me.
All right, let's write down a couple of these, and then I will show you how you turn every 3 term into a 4 term. So these, like all these are positive. We'll do a couple of these, and then we'll do some with different signs. It's like the same thing every time. That's why it's so nice. All right, you're ready. Here we go. I'm gonna just share my handwriting because it's easier than trying to look at the. So all I do is, so there's a 1 here, right? So it's 1 times 24. So it's just 24. So I call this AC because it's A x squared plus bx plus c, right? Ax squared plus bx plus c. So I always say a times c splits up the b. I say a times c splits up the b. Okay, and I'm gonna make every single 3-term problem into a 4-term trinomial. Every single one. So there's only really one thing you have to memorize, and that's the box off. Let's try it. So this is a 1. So what's 1 times 24?
24.
24.
Okay. So I want to write down all the factors of 24. Give them to me. 1, 24, then what?
2 and 12.
Uh-huh.
4, 6.
Uh,
One more.
3, 8.
3, 8. Okay, and that's all there. It's all there. So I call this is just what I call it. I call it AC, A times C splits B. So we want to find the numbers that add up to 11.
3, 8.
Okay.
Chris n'a din pou mwen parce te nan zon nan professeur.
Ooh, she said something I didn't understand. Okay, you ready? So all I'm going to do is rewrite this.
X squared.
Yon ba.
X.
A la Chris.
X.
Now, have I done anything crazy? I just said 11x is 3x plus 8x.
Okay.
Is that like crazy, crazy? That's okay,
No.
right?
No, it's
How
not.
many terms do I have?
4.
So you just box it off?
Box.
Nothing
Oh.
You know how to do it. There's nothing new now. Done.
So
Just do
it's
what you've always, what you just said was easy.
so you take what,
X squared, X squared.
no, just X, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
X
Mhm.
plus 3. And the other one you take
Plus 8.
plus 8.
Done. We
Is
done?
it? You're done.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yep, you're done.
Oh God. Oh
Yeah.
God, I miss you.
Because we already learned that technique. So why not just keep using it? So we're gonna make every 3-term into a 4-term and box it.
That's
This
it.
is so much easier.
I'm telling you.
That's fun. I love factoring. It's fun. Now let's try this one. You ready? So
Okay.
there's a 1 there because sometimes there's not going to be a 1 there. So we always have to think about, oh, it's this times this, right? We're just going to get in that habit. So when that's not a 1, we're still good with it. You see what I
Okay.
mean?
Okay. Oh, because you're still gonna multiply it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So sometimes this might be a 3 and then we're going to have to
Yeah.
go 3 times 3. Yeah. So we're going to get in that habit of going A times C. We got to split up the B. So what's 1 times 30?
30.
30. And now we got to break down all the factors of 30.
Okay. So hang on.
130. 6, 5.
I always go in order. So 1 will work, 2 will work. Oh, there it
Will
is.
Yes.
3 will work, 4 will work, and then you did the 5.
5, 6. Okay.
Now be careful because sometimes we might have to do the sign sisters. I call them sign sisters because 1 times 30 is 30, but -1 times -30 is also 30. And this is going to dictate it for us.
Plus.
So
Right.
if this was -17, then both of these would be minus.
Okay.
Okay, do you guys see which one it is?
2 and 15.
15.
Okay, so we're gonna rewrite this. We're just gonna split this up. We're just gonna rewrite it, that's all. Instead of 17, it's gonna be 2 plus 15. That's not a big brain stretch, right? We just had to find which one added up to 17. See, we can't use 5 and 6 because that doesn't add up to 17. Do you see what I mean?
Yep.
Yes.
X plus
Now we can
2,
do the box.
X
Yeah,
plus-
then you just box it up.
then you
X
just
plus 2.
oh my gosh, this is so much easier.
I'm telling you.
X plus 2,
Plus 2.
X plus 15. Wow. Oh man.
Yeah, so did you guys get x plus 2, x plus 15?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you want to try this one? Now it's prime. Like I have probably some that are prime that are coming up. If how do you know when it's prime? Well, if you go 1 times 15 and you get 15 and you do all the factors that you can think of and none of them add up to that middle term, then it's prime.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really easy to know whether it's
How?
prime or not. We'll do one that's prime.
my
I bet you
gosh.
I have one on the worksheet. We'll get to one and we'll look at it and go, God, I can't think of anything. And we're like, oh, it must be prime. Yeah,
Oh my
I'll show
god.
you. We'll get to one and it'll be prime. I bet you I have one on the worksheet somewhere and stuck in the middle. So are you good with this one? Like what one would you use?
5 and 3.
5 and
Yeah.
3.
We okay.
Okay.
Let's do some that are different signs now.
Yeah, yep.
Okay. So let's look at some that have, where's the worksheet we're on? This one. Okay. And then we'll do some where it's not one in the middle and it doesn't matter because it's no different. Okay, let's see. Let's try these ones because you see how now we've got the B is negative.
Okay.
There's only 3 ways they can fiddle with it, and it's just the sign, but it's not hard.
So 18, 1.
And you'll know right away. Here, I'm going to do the first. Let's write out all 4 of these. And one of these might be prime. I don't know.
2, 9.
Okay. Did you get those 4 written down?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't catch them here.
Story.
Oh, and then here they're both negative. Okay, so we're going to get every single possible scenario on the sheet of what they could do with the 3 term
Okay,
one.
so x squared minus 8x plus
I think it's 6 story. X.
x squared
X minus story minus 6.
You guys get it down?
Yes.
Okay, so here's the tricky part. You ready? But you just have to think about it. So 1 times 18 is 18. And so when you write these down, we're going to do,
9.
okay, those are all the factors, but that adds up to 19. That adds up to a positive 11. That adds up to positive 9. What am I supposed to get?
negative.
Minus 9.
Negative. But this is where you have what I call the sign sisters, because 1 times 18 is 18, but -1 times -18 is also 18.
18.
They're either both positive or they're both negative. They're called the sign sisters. And I make my students write them all down when they do them. They have to write down all the positives, all the negatives, and then choose. Because once you stray away from everything being positives everywhere, then you have to deal with sign sisters. You've got to deal with signs. Do you see what I mean?
So they have to be either all negative or all positive. They can't be.
Not yet. One on the next type, the last type of problem, when this is negative, one has to be a positive, one has to be a negative.
Okay.
In order to get a positive 18, they either have to be both be negatives or both be positives.
Right.
Do you see
Okay.
what I mean?
Yep.
Yes.
So you were right, Jocelyn. We want to pick the 3 and the 6, but we want them to both be negative.
Negative.
So we'll have x squared minus 3x
X
minus 6x.
6x plus
plus
18.
Yep.
Okay, minus.
And then you just
Min-
box it off and everything works out from there.
Oh wow.
X minus 3. X minus 3.
So what'd you factor out of the second box?
2
Minus
3
6.
minus
Yeah,
6.
minus 6. Yep. See
Wow.
it twice, write it once, write what you have left.
Yep. X minus 2. X minus 6.
Cool.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's the only thing. Sometimes you have to deal with the sign sisters. If they're not both positive, then you're like, all right, I've got to think about my signs now. Here, let's try the 28.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's really 1. There's a 1 here, right? That we can't see.
Yes.
So
Right.
1 times 28 is 28. Now, so when I multiply 2 numbers together, they either both are positive or both are negative to get a positive 28. Do you see what I mean?
Yes.
Okay, what are the other factors?
2.
4, 7.
Oh, 7. I think
Four,
7 and 4. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and they're either both positive or both
Positive. They're
negative.
gonna give you. Yeah.
Yeah, so 7 plus 4 is positive 11. Negative 7 plus negative 4 is negative 11.
Negative 11.
That's the one we want. And that's the hard work. Then you're done. Now you should be in like your comfort zone because you know what to do now.
Yes.
Yep.
And then you
7
box it.
X plus sweet. Oh my. So much.
Yeah. So much easy.
Yeah, oh yeah. Now, Nate, you asked a question about 1. And I think we could probably answer it now.
Oh yeah, right there. Yep.
Okay. All right, let's do this one. It's 3
Okay.
terms, right? So we're going to make it into a 4-term problem. So what's the number in front of the M?
1.
1. Okay. So what's 1? Oh, this is going to be, all right, we'll just work with this one anyway. So 1 times negative 21. You're just looking at the numbers, right? 1 times negative 21. Do you see that?
Yep.
All right,
So
so it's negative
negative-
21.
Okay.
So this is where the sign sisters come in again, because when I multiply 2 numbers to get a negative, what's going to happen? One
One
has to be positive, one has to be negative. Okay, what are the first numbers you think of to get you 21?
1 and 21.
All right, 1 and 21. And so this is what I do.
Oh, okay.
And none of them add up to negative 4. So give me the other
Right.
ones. There's only 2 more.
3 and 7.
3 and
Yep.
7.
Okay, so do you see what I do is I just write them both down and then I just do that. Do you see
Okay.
why I'm making one positive and one negative? Because to get a
Yep.
product of negative number, one has to be positive, one has to be negative.
Negative.
So which one adds up to the negative 4?
Negative.
Neg-
Uh,
Negative 2 is 7. Yeah.
I don't know which
negative
one adds up
7,
to
3.
negative 4.
Negative 7, 3.
That one?
Negative-
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Yeah, because if you just look at it like a actual 3 minus 7.
Oh, that's all you do on your calculator. Just go 3
Yeah.
minus 7. Okay, that's all right. So this is a really hard one, but we haven't done these ones yet, but this is fine. So it's going to be plus 3mn, right? And then minus 7mn, right? I just split this up where one's a positive 3, one's a negative 7. You just, this is all going to come out in the wash. It's just mn.
Okay.
And then minus 21n squared, right?
Oh,
Yep.
so you don't factor this.
How many
in.
terms do we have?
4 terms.
Box it and factor.
So box. So we could take an M out.
Yep.
And
What do
then
we
you're
have
left
left?
with M plus 3n.
Okay. And so I want m plus 3n left, right?
Yeah.
Can you see what I have to pull out in order to get that to be an m?
So minus 7n.
Yep. See it twice, write it once. Write what you got left.
M plus 3n.
So
minus
m
7n.
plus 3 and
That's it.
Oh my. That is such a
I know,
better.
right? Isn't it cool how it always works?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. This is like a lifesaver for me.
I'm telling
It's so
you.
cool. It just always works. Here, we'll keep playing. Let's keep playing with the ones we were writing down. Oh, here. Well, let's do here. Let me share this. So you guys have this down, right? Where they both have to be positive or they both have to be negative. And then the only other type was the one kind of like what we just did. Here, I'll show you. So the only other type is when A times C is negative. Like here, do you see these are negative? This times this is going to give you a negative number, and then one's going to be positive, one's going to be negative. And then we'll do all the wonky ones. Like these are the things to watch out for. Here, these ones are like as hard as they get, like these
Okay.
ones. So let's do these 4, and then we'll look at the ones you got to watch out for. And then the only ones that we have left are if A isn't, but it's not any harder. When A is not 1, then you'll just go. It's
Then
so
you just
easy.
multiply.
Yeah, there's no difference. There's like no difference. There's nothing new. I don't know why people make it hard. There's nothing new.
This is, I think honestly though, Kathleen, I think it's really like about who's teaching you. I'm not just saying that, like, your explanation is so much easier than what.
Yeah,
Yeah, to
sometimes it's
understand.
the teacher. I mean, some people connect really well with me, but sometimes people don't connect. They just don't like how fast I talk or how animated I get. It just depends.
Yeah,
Different strokes for different folks.
yeah, I
guess.
guess that's true.
Yeah, some people think I'm too hyper because they write that in my teaching evaluations.
I like
care.
your teaching
I
style.
am what I am, but some people say I get too animated and then they can't follow me.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, you should see what people write. That's okay.
If I
whatever.
understand you, I think everybody can too.
Yeah.
I'm
Just
telling you.
depends. Just depends.
So let's see for 18.
X, the X down.
Yeah, I wrote them all down right here.
3.
Okay.
So these are the kind of weird ones because you see like the negatives and there's some are all negative, some are all positive, but
Yeah.
there's a 1 there. So what's 1 times negative 18?
Negative 18.
Okay. So in order to get a negative number, 1 has to be a positive, 1 has to be a negative. So I always say to my students, I'm like, well, just write them both down and make 1 positive, 1 negative. I call it it's just where the sign sisters come in. So 2 times 9 is 18. Write it twice and make 1 positive, and then the next one make the other 1 positive. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we've got 3 times 6. Make 1 positive and 1 negative. And then if you've written them all down, just see which one adds up to that middle term. One of them should. If it doesn't, it's prime. Does 1 add up to negative 3?
Yeah, the 3
Yes.
times 6.
Yeah, which one am I going to use? Because I want a negative 3.
Negative 3 minus 6.
Yeah. And now you know what to do. So you're just going to split up that B term. Right? Where this one of the X's is going to have a 3 in the front. The
Yep.
other X is going to have a negative 6 in the front. Do you see what I mean?
Yep.
So you force it into a 4 term. And it doesn't matter which one you write first. You could put the negative 6X first and then the positive 3X. Order doesn't matter. It's just, it will all come out when you box it off.
Yes.
It'll force itself that it will work.
So x plus 3
Plus 3
plus 3
is the box.
minus 6. Oh my gosh. This is so much easier.
Yay, I'm so glad. I'm so
I'm
glad
done.
that you reached out because this shouldn't be hard.
Oh man.
Did you get
you-
X plus 3, X minus X?
Minus 6, yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're all
so
same.
much.
You see it?
Telling you.
Do you want to try? I mean, they're all the same.
Yeah.
Yes.
Different?
I'm gonna look at to see if I had any other questions.
Yeah,
with
let's
it.
look. And then, or here, I was gonna look at like the things to watch out for. Okay, let's find one that's prime, just so you can
Okay.
see what it looks like. I bet you one of these is prime. I'm trying to see, I bet you one of these is prime, maybe this one. Negative 18.
I try.
All right, I think here, this is, you remember you guys said, how do you know when one is prime?
Why I'm on.
Yeah.
So for this one, do you see, this would be 1 time, is this the right one? Hold on,
I don't know.
wait, I think I lost it, hold on. I think my paper shifted when I did the annotation. Oh yeah, hold on, we wanna do this one, right here. So you're plugging along and you think you're doing great. And then you know it's 1 times negative 18 is negative 18. And then you start making, and you're like, oh, one's got to be positive, one's got to be negative, right?
Yes.
So you'd be looking at like 9 and 2.
Yeah, you're tempted. So they give you ones that you're so tempted. You're like, oh, it's got to be 9 and 2, right? But remember, one's got to be positive, one's got to be negative in order for the product of two numbers to be negative, right? And you're like, well, this adds up to 7 and this adds up to negative 7.
Negative 7.
Yeah.
And you're like, I know I've written them all down, but
Yeah.
I can't get it
That's
to the
prime.
middle term. It's prime.
Prime. Okay.
If you do the A times C and you've written all these down and you can't get it to add to this, it's a prime number, or it's a prime polynomial. You can't factor it.
Oh my
Okay.
Do you see it? That's how you know.
Yeah.
And they'll always try to trick you. Like they're very slimy that way. They'll always give you something where you think it'll add up. It should add up. Like these are ones that are right out of my math lab. These are ones that I assigned that popped up on my math lab. So you're like, oh, it's got to be 5 and 3, right?
Right.
And then you're writing these down and you're like, wait a second, none of those, that doesn't add up to negative 2 or positive 3, right? I mean,
Yes.
the other one's 1 and 15,
Yeah.
right? But when you do it and you're like, wait a second, none of these are working, then it's prime. Like if you've written all the factors out and none of them add up to that middle term, it's prime.
Oh my gosh, this is such an
So-
easy.
I'm
explanation.
telling you.
So wait, the only other problem here, let me just show you, and it's not another problem. There's nothing different to it. Let me show you one more thing, because it's so easy. Hold on, let me find it. Factoring, all right, here, I'm gonna show you this one. So this one is if the A isn't 1. Have you done these yet?
Yes.
I mean, we have, but I'd rather just see how.
We have it.
I'm just gonna show you because it's nothing new. You're gonna be like, oh, what? Why is this even a new lesson? It shouldn't be because it's the same thing. Here, I'm just gonna show you the first one, and then you'll be just like, oh my gosh, it's nothing new. That's the beauty behind this. Okay, so remember what I said? Now, if normally this was a 1, but now it's a 3, right?
Yes.
So
Mhm.
we go 3 times 8.
It's 24.
Instead of 1 times 8, there's a 3 there. So what's 3 times 8?
24.
24. And then we write down all of the factors of 24.
Mhm.
I don't need the negatives because this is positive, right? If that was
Yes.
minus 14, then I'd be slapping a negative sign in front of all those.
Yes.
Are we okay?
Yes.
Yep.
All right. Which one am I
Okay.
going to use? It has to add up to that middle
12.
term. Which one?
212.
Yep. Okay. So we know what to do. We just split up that term.
Plus 2x plus 12x.
Plus 12.
And then what do you do from there?
Oh,
Do the box.
Big box. That's it.
so much
See,
easier.
there's nothing new to that whole section. You just turn it into a 4-term binomial. You just take A times C. This is what I call it, AC, A times C, split the B, and then you make it into a 4-term. I mean, you don't even need to know. You don't need to do. I mean, we'll do it, but because but look, there's nothing new. Oh, wait a second. I should have pulled out. This should be an X.
The square, yes. Okay.
Yeah, 3x plus 2. And then we write a 3x plus 2. Okay. So
Mhm.
I want this 12x to be a 3x. What do I have to pull out of it? So I want this 12 to become a 3. So what do I have to divide it by?
4.
Four.
A what? Yeah, a positive 4. And now you're done.
Oh wow.
Or if you want to say 12x plus 8x, what's common? What's the number common? It's a 4.
Oh wow.
So there's nothing new to the next section where the A isn't 1. There's nothing. It's the same thing. It's this times this splits the B, and then it carries
Oh
on.
my gosh. I want to know why everyone just doesn't teach it this way across the
I
board.
don't know. I know a lot of people do like trial and error. And I'm like, I don't know why you would
Yeah,
do that.
she taught us like 3 different ways, and not
Yeah.
one of them was this way.
No,
was like-
just it works every time. It's really efficient. It will never fail you. Sometimes you
Yeah.
have to keep track of your signs a little bit. Here, let's do one more. Because sometimes you have to, but it's not hard. You just keep track of your signs. Here, let's do one. Wait. Oh, this isn't the right section. Factoring. No, wait. We want the other section. Hold on. Let me find it. I just have to find the what lesson that's out of. Oh, wait. Well, here, wait. Let me wait. Let's come back. Let me just show you the rest of that little sheet. All right, here. The helpful hints. So here. So we did the 2 terms. We did the 4 terms, right? Think box
Yes.
off. And then 3 terms. We know how to do this, right? We know how now.
Yes.
This is a weird one, but you want to do preliminary factoring first, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so that just turns into a nice problem. And then here, this is the one you're probably going to learn how to do. This is when A is not 1, don't forget, you can just use AC splits B. Now, sometimes if you like make life easy for yourself, like, do you see for this one, you could factor out a 2 from the get-go? Like,
Yeah.
if you can factor out something before you even start, because if you'd said 12 times -20, oh my God, that's like
A huge
240.
number.
Yeah, so just factor out something that you can at the beginning. I
So,
can factor out a
yes.
2, and then we have
6
6x squared
squared
minus 7x.
7 minus 10.
Oh my gosh, it's so hard to write on this. Minus 10. Okay. So now you're like, okay, that makes this look
And
a
I
little
can
easier.
factor. Okay.
So 6 times -10 is
My next
-60,
60.
right?
Yes.
All right, it's negative. So one's got to be positive, one's got to be negative, right?
Negative. Yes.
I know it's not going to be 1 and 60. Let me write that down, right? I got to have it add up to -7. Would it be 2 and 30?
Mm.
2 and-
No, because it's
No.
not gonna give you -7.
Yeah, 2 and 30. But let's see, now we're narrowing down. So 3 and 20.
No.
No.
Oh, so this is what she was telling us. I think this is what Jocelyn asked me about too.
For the calculator,
If you
yeah,
if you go
you
to
need to know
y
how to
equals-
use it.
yeah, so if you go to y equals
Oh, yeah.
and
Oh,
then
yeah.
you just
Yes.
type in on the first one, you just type in -60
Yeah.
divided by, and then x is the right next to the little green.
Yeah. And then you
multiple.
just put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It gives you all the factors. Isn't that cool?
Yes.
So this
And
way
you
you can pretty quickly figure out, I think it's probably going to be 5 and 12.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really nice if you can do that in your calculator, because it'll give you all the factors really fast. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then one's
Yeah, that's-
positive and one's
yeah.
negative. And now you know how to do it. Are you going to use 5 and 12, or which one? -5 and 12 or 5 and -12?
5 and -12.
5 and -7.
Yeah. So just ignore the 2. We'll bring that down later. And then you know how to do this.
6x squared.
So to be minus 5x, right?
Minus 10.
So I'm sorry, wait, you said positive, wait, plus
No,
5x
Yes.
minus 12x. Do you see how I split that up?
Yep. Minus.
Do you see it's
10.
really the same thing? This adds up to -7
Yep.
and then
Okay.
minus 10. And then you just box it. This is
So-
no harder than the boxes we were doing.
Even though you like factored out the 2 first, you could still I'm just asking, so you could still do this the other way you were saying, right? Like you could still do 12 minus or 12 times negative.
Yeah, you can.
You
And
can
find the
still
ones that
do
up to
it. It's
negative
just
40.
gonna be big, I think, the number.
Yeah.
It's big, but if you know how to do that on your calculator,
Calculator, it would be Python.
yeah, then you'd figure out the one pretty quick that adds up to -14. No, that's it. Oh, I think we lost internet. Uh-oh. Joey, did you lose internet?
And it was,
Oh, I lost you guys. Hold on.
yes.
I froze. So yeah, my internet says it's unstable. It's raining really hard here. I don't know if something happened. But we're leaving to go to Florida for just a couple days, but we'll be back on Saturday. So if you guys need more help, I'm home all the next week, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. You just like saved my life here.
I'm telling you.
Okay, well here, wait, let me hit the recording. I don't know what to do from here. Let me see. I'm gonna learn something now. I don't know where I hit recording. Oh, stop record. Okay, stop.